Thank you all so much for coming out here today to honor the Los Angeles Police Department's canine handlers and the canine partners who work tirelessly day and night to keep the city safe. And more specifically, the 4 police canines who pay the ultimate price to keep this city safe. I would like to now introduce the Chief of the Los Angeles Police Department, Chief Michel Moore.
Good morning, everyone. I know it's Thursday. Good morning, everyone. There you go. This is a day of celebrations. It is a day to reflect upon the sacrifice of these 4 canines and the dedication of the men and women who work our various canine units. And unfortunately, in that dedication and that service, the cost of that at times as they go about their work in protecting the city. I want to welcome a number of our outside agencies that are here, our partners in keeping this region safe. Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, we have Riverside Sheriff's Department here as well. Pasadena is here. Thank you for your partnership, for the fact that we work together so closely and frequently in regards to what it takes to take 10 million people in the county of Los Angeles safe, as well as the regions beyond that. We would not be here today but for the generous support of the Los Angeles Police Foundation. Dana Katz, thank you for being here, as well as the Katz Foundation, no relation, and the Los Angeles Police Canine Fund. As I look around, I'm also grateful to see the senior leadership here. Mr. Richard T. Fink, Executive Director of the Los Angeles Police Board of Police Commissioners, our senior leadership, as well as the representation within our special operations, as well as our canine units that make up our workforce in critical areas. Today we'll talk about the dedication, the sacrifice of these 4 canines. But also we have an opportunity to recognize the heroism of 4 individuals who most recently within our patrol canine units came under deadly gunfire and suffered grievous injuries, and I'm grateful that they survived those injuries, and today we get to recognize them as well. But the Los Angeles Police Department is not just made up of our patrol canines, as you know. The dedication and what it takes to keep a city of this sophistication and complexity safe is not just only, though they're great and they're important to our success, patrol canines, but it's also our article search dogs. It's our explosive bomb canine that keeps our critical infrastructure every single day safe to the threat of terrorism and those that would try to attack rail, bus lines, to our special events and large gatherings. It also extends to our bloodhounds that go out in this year-to-date alone have made more than 150 searches for lost individuals, for tracking down those, whether they suffer from dementia or critical missing of some other makeup, are going out and using their power, their abilities to find and rescue individuals that are in peril. It also is our canine narco unit that in the year-to-date have made more than 900 responses throughout the city and have made more than 200 seizures of narcotics. I want to thank, again, the Police Foundation for their generous support that is allowing us to add 2 fentanyl detection dogs that will be online here in the coming weeks. So the efforts that we have here is really, I marvel at times when I reflect back over these last 4 decades, how this department has taken advantage of recognizing the power. Some of it, you might say, is actually instinctual, but the relationship between animals and man and women, that the power of these companions to many of us, whether it be a canine or these or equestrian unit, that extends much beyond the relationship, but that in the power of that relationship is our ability to capitalize on the sensory perceptions, the abilities well beyond that of a simple individual such as ourselves, to go out and protect the city. And in doing that work, there is no other agency. To every agency here outside of LAPD, all respectfully, I'm proud of our work. I'm proud of the cutting edge work, whether it be in our patrol canines, our weapon or our article search dogs, explosive canines, every aspect of our work. This agency, working in partnership with our other partners, constantly pushes the envelope to see how do we optimize and how do we capitalize on the abilities of these individuals. Now, all this is satisfactory in the sense of it's a business. our business of going out and protecting and serving is how do we use this as a tool. But the relationship between these animals and our men and women is much more than just a tool. It's an emotion that drives to the very heart of our existence. These animals and the ability forms relationships that is an undying trust. I've seen it personally, where the relationship between these canines and their handlers is that they rely upon each other, that they're going to go home. Unfortunately, and while that works many times, there are instances in which that has not occurred. Today we honor those 4 instances of canines that sacrificed their lives to save those of not just their handlers, but of the men and women that were responding and making up their efforts to make this apprehension. These four canines also, one of them, Liberty, sprung a Liberty Award that the department formulated years ago, and awarding police service dogs that had been killed or seriously injured while engaged in police duties. This award here to my left and in front of you there has been awarded to these 4 canines, but also can be awarded to the countless other canines that go about their work every day. And at times, while many cycles work through successfully, there are instances in which they need to sacrifice themselves so that we do not lose one of our people. And that is deserving of recognition, honor, and this tribute. We were approached some time ago about establishing in this courtyard a monument that would recognize the bonds that I've talked about, but the role and the critical sacrifice that our canines are willing to make in going out and doing their work in service to us, and by extension in service to the people of Los Angeles. Today we have in our ranks and our audience today men and women that have worked our canines in various capacities, and I want to welcome you here today. I've known many of you personally, and I know that your sacrifice and dedication has extended to that of your family as well, to do the countless off-hour responses, to come into harm's way in periods of chaos and attempt to restore order and calm and apprehend those that are preying upon others. Thank you for that dedication, and to the men and women that serve us today in these active roles. I am appreciative, I'm in awe of the dedication, the sacrifice, and the professionalism that you show in the work that you go out and do. So as we go about our work, as we dedicate this monument today, I also want to recognize that just recently, in the last few months, we had an occasion in which to demonstrate in brisk reality the edge of the danger that I talk about. Today we're going to make a Purple Heart presentation, a presentation I did informally bedside to these 3 men in the immediate aftermath of this deadly assault. We're going to formally recognize them this September when we have our Above and Beyond, where we recognize our Medal of Valor recipients. We recognize our Purple Heart recipients as well as our Preservation of Life recipients. But today it is fitting that while we recognize the sacrifice of Canine 16 Rooster, who died in the line of duty on June 4th, 1981, Canine 89 Richter, who died in the line of duty on the September 7th, 1987, Canine Liberty, Canine 40, who died in the line of duty on March 22nd, 1989, and an animal, a canine that I had the benefit of working with on a short loan when I had the benefit of working in the canine unit in the mid-'80s. A tremendous, I did not know these other canines, but I knew Liberty. What a tremendous heart. And I don't know if John Hall was able to be here today, but how fitting this reward, this medal is for this canine, because he represented the very best when it came to the talents, the pursuit of those that would prey upon others, and his ability to use his sensories, his talents to help protect lives. And lastly, Canine Marco, Canine 31, who died in the line of duty on the 24th of August. Let us always remember them. As we pass this monument, let's remember not just their sacrifice, but the willingness of our canines throughout this organization to go out and meet the needs of us, to serve and dedicate themselves to their handlers, to keep them safe, and to go about the mission of protecting and serving this great city. Now to the Purple Heart presentation. On the 8th of March of this year, an individual was observed by the Hollenbeck narcotic detail who was wanted for a felony and was an outstanding fugitive. As they went about searching this neighborhood, they found this individual, located him, and a short foot pursuit ensued. Perimeter was quickly established, as we do tens of times a week, and in that containment, the individual was believed to be within a building. Canine units responded from across the city and formed a canine team. And the use of a canine inside this location discovered this individual hiding within a bedroom area, a makeshift bedroom, but some distance away from the officers that were involved. The canine was extracted, and the canine officers continued to work the problem in an effort to have the individual surrender and submit to an arrest. And during the course of that interaction, suddenly and without any prior notice, the gunman suddenly attacked the men that were inside that location and wounded these three individuals, as the exchange of a gun battle ensued in a few short seconds that followed. Today, we recognize these personnel, and we recognize that the injuries they received in the line of duty was a direct result of their efforts to not just defend themselves, but to defend the very safety of this city from those that would prey upon us. And it's my honor today to welcome back Captain Brian Bixler to the podium as we award these individuals their Purple Heart.
Today, the Los Angeles Police Department's Purple Heart Award is awarded to Police Officer 3, Adrian Bonilla. The Los Angeles Police Department's Purple Heart is awarded to Police Officer 3, Al Ramirez. The Los Angeles Police Department's Purple Heart is awarded to Police Officer 3, Stephen Wills. Ladies and gentlemen, recipients of the Purple Heart. Thank you so much. The Metropolitan Division Canine Unit, as it is known today, began in 1980 with a few individuals who saw the need and the capability of these amazing animals. Since that time, there have been approximately 100 who have had the honor to hold the leash as canine handlers in Metropolitan Division. Among those are 17 Medal of Valor winners. 16 of those Medal of Valor winners were officers, 1 was a canine. The mission for the canine platoon was and is to use police service dogs to search for outstanding felony suspects and suspects reasonably believed to be armed. In simple terms, police service dogs and their handlers search for and apprehend the most violent criminals in Los Angeles. You might think that because they are searching for people who have already run from the police and are intent on going to jail, there would be a high instance of force by officers and their canine partners, but that is simply not the case. Police service dogs are utilized to mitigate the risks associated with these searches and reduce the propensity for violence and minimize the potential for uses of force. One of the reasons is that our canine partners have been trained since 1995 to find and bark. This means that when they find a suspect, using their incredible sense of smell, they bark to alert their partner. Only if the suspect makes a violent movement or to escape or attack the dog or their handler, only then will the canine respond with a reactive bite. The actual deployment of these police canines continues to serve as de-escalation tool, as it allows the search team officers to more effectively utilize available cover while doing canine searches. This reduces the likelihood of an officer-involved shooting or a categorical or non-categorical use of force incident. Since 1995, when canine statistics began to be recorded, canine teams have conducted nearly 14,000 searches, locating over 8,000 suspects with only a 21% bite ratio. In the last 5 years alone, they have located suspects in 77% of their searches. These amazing animals and their partners willingly enter situations where a violent confrontation with a suspect is a very real possibility. There have been those dogs who have paid the ultimate price, as Chief Moore had said, to protect the community and keep their partners safe from harm. And today we are here to honor those 4 canines, as Chief Moore said, and I will read their names again. Canines killed in the line of duty. Rooster, June 4, 1981. Richter, September 9th, 1987. Liberty, March 22nd, 1989. And Marco, August 24th, 1989. The LAPD Canine Unit is a backbone of police work in LA, and without question, the canine teams that are available every day, day or night, rain or shine, have saved the lives of officers, lives of the public, and lives of suspects. I would like to acknowledge the work of the entire Facilities Management Division team under the leadership of Sandy Russell, who made the placement of this memorial possible. I know it was not an easy task. I know it was not a short task, so thank you very much. I would also like to acknowledge the former canine handlers and supervisors who were with us today. The canine unit as it stands today, the premier, and I'm sorry, as Chief Moore said for those others who were here, the premier canine unit in the country, was built by the men and women who saw the need and sacrificed blood, sweat, and tears to bring us to where we are today. Today, we welcome our past canine officers, trainers, and supervisors. From the 1st Canine 10, or the first officer in charge of Canine, Mark Mooring. Thank you. Joe Vita. Daniel, or as most of us know, Danny Bunch. I do not know if Mike Gooseby was here. Did Mike show? No? Okay. Linda Travis. I don't know where she is. Dave Wade. And the man we can thank for pushing this project through over years as an effort of his heart for this program, former Canine 2, Steve Carnival. Steve, would you please come up?
Thank you, Steve. Chief, they did let the retired guy on the microphone. I know that's not something you know. No, thank you, Chief. And there's started a lot of people to thank. I don't want to say a thank you fest, but I worked this unit for many, many years and wore that, well, not that necessarily that uniform, mostly utility uniform for many, many years. And so a few years back, we were at an award show and a Hero Dog Awards, and it was ASPCA puts it on. It's a televised show, and we met a sculptor there. One of our dogs was being honored, Canine Ito, was being honored that day. And we met a bronze sculptor by the name of Austin Weichel. And Austin is a volunteer firefighter in Colorado, but he's also an amazing sculptor. And we talked for a bit, and he gave me the card. And about 6 or 7 months later, after being part of this unit every day, like the chief said, every day, you're watching these dogs go through their work. I'm like, we're LAPD, we should have something like that. 'Cause if you've seen Austin's work, please look him up. It's quite amazing. And so I contacted Austin. I said, I think we might be in it. Well, me, I didn't ask anybody permission. And I said, we might be interested in doing this. And he put out some sketches right away for me. And my uncle over here is a much renowned marble and granite contractor for 65 years. He helped me put together a pedestal plan. And with that, I took the sketch. I skipped all chain of command this one time in my career, and I contacted Assistant Chief Grimala, and she was my big boss at the time in our bureau. And so she says, meet me at Starbucks, whatever. I met her. She said, this is going to go. I'm like, great, and so she goes, it's going to be done May. 2018. I said, well, that's pretty wishful thinking. I don't know if we'll make that. But Dana here at the Police Foundation right away were tremendously supportive, because we knew it would be private donations, which a lot of people don't realize our dogs are also come from private donations. And so they took that, and I gave them the commitment: you get me a landing zone and you get me the financing, I'll get you the production of the product. The landing zone changed a few times, which is, you know what, everything happens for a reason, and it's sitting in the perfect spot, as you can see. And it took a few years, and people, when I was helping train the dogs, people would ask, well, how long does it take to put out a dog team? I'd say, as long as it takes. You know, as long as it takes to make that team safe. We don't say 6 weeks, 5 weeks. No, the dog and that team doesn't go out till they're ready to go out. So this sculpture didn't go out till it was ready to go out, and we're very proud of it. And so we had the opportunity. Austin Weichel, he did this clay, and he created this sculpture. And while we were waiting, I went out to the foundry in Loveland, Colorado, and met him, and saw his other works, and said that's the sculpture. And so Austin had it crated up, sent out. It's been in a crate and for a few years now. And recently, after I ended up retiring and all this, and so about 6 months ago, Leslie Herrig from Facilities Management, I know Sandra Russell, I know you guys pushed this, after I retired for me, and you committed to me that you would get this done, and you did. And I communicated with Leslie Herrig about it, and she took it, and I don't know where she is, Leslie, back there. I was out of the loop. I had no idea what was happening. I said, I'm an old retired guy. Call me when you need me. And she took care of the permitting and everything that went along with it, getting our construction team up here. And a couple weeks ago, we were out here putting together the pedestal. And, people would walk by. Officers asked, what are you building? I said, well, it's a statue of the chief, I go, and it's about 20 feet high, by the way. And so you get some responses. And then one guy goes, but he's still alive. I guess. And we also did it when the chief was out of town. We made sure to do it when the chief wasn't around. But but also, I was astounded by the lack of people asking what we were doing. So all these officers walking by, and doesn't anybody ask what we're up to? But at any rate, it was great to be back, and today's a great event, and great to see these officers, because having been there and done that, it's a grind. It's a real grind, and to watch these dogs, what they go through from selection, through the training, and then hitting, and actually having to find real suspects. It's really astounding what we see in these dogs. And 4 dogs is really, truly amazing that we've only lost 4. I say only because everyone's a tragedy, but I attribute that, equal parts luck, don't get me wrong, but to the tactics and the training of this unit. That's a big part of it. With that, I know you guys are ready to see, as any handler knows, you're here to see the dog and not the handler. So
exactly.
We're going to move on, Captain.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you so much. All right. Well, behind me is the structure we've been long waiting to see. May I please have our K-9 unit come up to assist us with the unveiling of the Los Angeles Police Department K-9 Memorial.